I want to mention Atlanta Fulton County Emergency Services just mentioned that there's a flash flood warning, including central and southern Fulton counties. They say flash flooding is occurring, reminding everybody who may be out for some reason, don't walk or drive through those flooded areas. Be safe out there. Again, that's coming from Fulton County.
Yeah, that has been the problem all morning. It's hitting different pockets, and so that's why we're advising just overall to go ahead and stay inside if you possibly can. These creeks and streams in our community have really just started to rise. They'll go down, but we know more rain is coming. And right now we are just really taking a look at the scope of this storm and what we are seeing. We understand that 3 deaths have been connected to this storm here in the state of Georgia. 3 people have lost their lives here. More than 24 people were rescued at one apartment complex, Peachtree Creek, right off of Peachtree Road in Buckhead, right behind the Benihana restaurant. The water is receding at Nancy Creek. That's where we saw 11 lives, Liza Lucas, earlier in the morning. But again, we were shocked at how fast that went down, and now it could go back up. So we want to let you know to be on the lookout for that.
Power outages is another big issue. When you put all the different power companies together statewide, we're talking about almost 1 million people at this moment who do not have power. You've got Georgia Power with a big chunk of that. They've got 22,000 households. That's just in the metro area. Think about households that represent a lot more people. And then on the EMC side of that, you have 223,000 people in metro Atlanta for EMC. So again, almost 1 million people in the state of Georgia don't have power right now. They expect that number will go up in the next couple of hours.
Yeah, we actually just got those numbers for you updated on 11alive.com as well. If you want to go and check out the outage map specific for where you live. Fulton County is seeing more than 9,000 customers without power at this hour, and so we know that is going to only go up throughout the day because the wind speeds are surely picking up within the next couple of hours starting now.
The wind bringing down trees, which bring down power lines. Again, here's another look at this. 100 million customers without power statewide. There is a flash flood warning. Specifically, we just read the one that came out in Fulton County, and we understand a Georgia firefighter has been killed. We know that those power lines coming down is always a major implication when we have long sustained periods of rain. That is the case certainly right now, and that causes a lot of problems out on the roads too.
Yeah, Crash, watching some major road conditions right now that we are seeing on our local highways. Crash, how are we looking out there?
Yeah, Aisha and Cheryl, and it's unfortunate too. You know, hopefully we're not adding to that total of fatalities, but a very serious situation. In fact, a police investigation, which leads me to believe that this was a horrible crash on 75 northbound at Delk Road. Marietta police saying avoid 75 northbound between Windy Hill and Delk Road for at least the next hour and a half or so. We do see some traffic starting to squeak by here, but again, we want you to just kind of avoid that scene, and that's why we want you to not really do any travel if you don't necessarily have to be out. We know some of you may have to go to work, or some of you may need to restock something. We understand that, but for the most part, wherever you are, if you're home and you're safe, hunker down, stay there. This is the police investigation from an earlier wreck, 75 northbound at Delk Road. And again, I'm going to keep giving you Cobb Parkway. Cobb Parkway is wide open. Normally, when we have a wreck of this magnitude or a police investigation and we send folks over to Highway 41, that starts to fill up and becomes a nightmare on its own. That's not the case right now because there's not that many people on the road. So Highway 41, Cobb Parkway, you can take that from the perimeter, Windy Hill up to Delk Road as far as you need to go. All right, a little bit of good news. We cleared the wreck on 316 eastbound at Sugarloaf Parkway. All lanes have been reopened there, so definitely some good news. This one here is going to be a while till they get everything back cleared up. This is wires that fell down. Highway 78 was shut down in both directions just east of Rosebud Road. So heads up if you're heading in and around the Loganville area. Brand new wreck. GDOT telling me about this one. 2 left lanes are blocked, 285 north at Memorial Drive. And again, normally at 7:04 in the morning on the middle of a rush hour, we would see significant delays. That's not the case. You're able to get by that, but certainly expect some delays back towards Covington Highway. And here's an interesting thing right here. as we watch the heavy part of this storm move out towards Augusta, towards the northeast there, we're getting reports now of multiple trees down all along I-20 in both directions between Covington and Augusta. And you see all that red there. That's kind of where my map just stops as you're approaching Augusta. But a lot of red, a lot of yellow, and orange as they've got a lot of cleanup to do. And we're going to continue to see a lot of debris out here on the roads. Now, here's the big three. Inbound traffic, again, not bad. Everybody kind of heeding the warning and staying home. 75, 400, and I-85 still condition green. But again, you look off to the left side of your screen there, you see that blob of lights. That's a police investigation underway for at least the next hour or so. 75 northbound near Delk Road. Back to you guys.
All right, Crush, thank you. Taking a live look over the world's busiest airport right now, where we know it already started yesterday. We saw those huge crowds in the atrium trying to get out of town before this storm hit. If you didn't make it out, it's a little too late now. But actually, Cheryl, I'm kind of impressed with the number of cancellations that we're seeing right now.
Yeah, we just checked Flight Aware, and we just got the number in a moment ago that it's 148 delays and 120 flight cancellations. So there is an impact, but you know the airlines, as you have all been watching the forecast, knew this was coming, so they did a lot of preemptive moving things around as they could. So again, as of this moment, we're looking at 148 delays and 120 cancellations out of Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport.
It's been a long night and an early morning for us. Now we're going to take a look back at sort of where we have started with this system. A lot of flooding. We're talking roofs blowing off homes. We're talking a lot of damage to communities. People's roofs just caving in. One woman was sent to the hospital in Griffin as a result of that. This is just a compilation video of all the places our crews have gone. So many water rescues happening in our community, just catching people off guard in the dead of night, trying to get out of their homes and not able to make it out. And
you see the water levels here on a lot of the creeks and bridges. This is one that we saw play out live on the air as they rescued a dog and also an expecting mom and her family. This is one of the many trees that we have seen come down through the course of the night as the trees are just so unsettled with all the rain. Yeah, we see that one kind of wiggling right there and really blocking those areas off. But one thing that we have been pretty good to see, glad to see that is the fact that the water is receding in a lot of those locations pretty fast. But now here in the 11 Live studios, we're hearing the rain start to pound down yet again. Another flash flood emergency just coming into our phones. The last one was set to expire at 12:45. This one has been upgraded now 15 minutes. Now that flash flood warning in effect in our area until 1 p.m. today. Again, that's really been the greatest threat that we've seen. We talk about those floodwaters and just how little it takes to move a car, let alone to move your body if you find yourself in that situation. Yeah, 12 inches of water, all it takes to move an entire car, and you certainly don't want to get swept up in that. Liza Lucas has been watching that play out right in front of you throughout the morning. Liza, you've seen those water levels change pretty dramatically in the overnight hours as people may be waking up, starting their day, understanding that many inches of rain have fallen through the overnight hours, and it's still coming down hard over your head right now.
That's right, and really I'm having to do the two-handed hold on the umbrella because the gusts are really starting to pick up. This is probably the most wind that we've seen since we were out here since midnight. I want to get out the way because this is significant flash flooding. This is what we're talking about. This is another example of Peachtree Creek right here. Actually, we've got some first responders, it looks like, on the other side now. We were just hearing sirens in the background, but you can see those red flashing lights, first responders on the scene. We're here off of Baller Road and Cross Creek Parkway. Now, to one side on the right is a golf course. Again, Peachtree Creek is over here, but you can see in the distance the stop sign, just to give you a little perspective about where the creek level is right now. I know we had just checked in with you at Nancy Creek where we were seeing a much better situation. Obviously, this situation is not receding here at Peachtree Street. In fact, you can see one of the drains bubbling up a little bit closer to where they have the road closed off, and that water just seems to be coming out as fast as it's trying to push in. So there's a lot of stress on the drains and on the sewer systems over here. We're actually on a hill, so this is really water that is flowing down the hill and then bottoming out right there where the road is closed and where that stop sign is, and it is just pooling. Again, the creek, Peachtree Creek, has been overflowing at other parts we know we've been talking about throughout the morning along like Peachtree Battle where our Ariana was and saw some rescues take place. We've got first responders across the way down there. We've heard sirens go off. Actually, a local restaurant owner tipped us off that this was happening, but this is still an extensive scene when we talk about flash flooding, especially as we watch the rain continue to pound this neighborhood in northwest Atlanta. We've actually, because we are on a hill, we have to be really careful, watch over our shoulders because cars are coming down the hill and they don't know this is there. So there's a lot of sudden stops because right now they have caution tape up, but again, it's still dark. And if you're not prepared and you don't know this area, you may not realize that you are coming onto this flood zone really fast. So this is a situation we're watching closely. We're going to stay here for much longer and kind of keep an eye on it, see if we can get an idea of what the first responders are doing on the other side. Here we go. We got a car stopping with us right now. This guy's going to have to turn around too. So we'll keep you posted here. Again, I'm off Baller Road at Cross Creek Parkway. Significant flash flooding here from Peachtree Creek, guys.
Just an incredible amount of water, Liza, as you were showing us those scenes.